Hello, again to ancestor Chronicles. We are here again to save our buddy, Susagi Natsume. And we are on the trial. The old Bailey, this place always makes me feel strange. I seem to get the chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all at the same time. Well, don't think I'd be back here so soon. Me too. That's my line! That's definitely your line. Good morning! Good morning, Mr. Natsume. It was only 2 days ago that I was declared not guilty here. Yes, we somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. But now this! Another morning, another murder, and here I am again in this hellhole! Can't keep coming to court! I'm beginning to think he's right. It does seem I thought he's cursed. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I have bad news. Oh! Mr. Natsume, good morning. Okay. Yes, morning. So here we are again. Yes, again. Judicious is credit. What's the bad news? Oh dear, you heard, did you? If I come shouting at the top of your voice, people can't help hearing what you say. Oh, I'm sorry. You've done nothing wrong, Mr. Sato. Now, what is it? Well, it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Baruch Van Zix. Van Zix? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No! They really want you dead. The so-called Reaper of the Ballet, the most legendary prosecutor in the hand. At the trial of 2 days ago, he pursued Soseki-san, and relentlessly, of course, by the skin of our teeth, managed to pull through, but still, anyway, it would left absolutely nothing because we are in the start report again. Here, trying to prove innocence of our dear fellow Natsume. Perhaps Mr. Natsume acted in the last trial was the matter after all. Yes, I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper, that says. Nothing can save a person in the dark when Lord Van Zix is the prosecutor. Oh no. As even if that person is found not guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end, one way or another. And we experience it firsthand. Man we successfully defeated, defended, met the most terrifying end after his acquittal, right after in the old ballet. Do I have to put up with those ice-cold eyes boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits and now by the Reaper. Pair of petrifying perils, potentially! Potentiality? Potentially? Well, it is potentially. At least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume. What hope? Welcome student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Yes? I'm innocent! You have to believe me! You more than anyone now. No, don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way. This battle, I promised. And this promised to be a hard battle, I fear. It is. The fact that he's being accused by the victim himself is interesting. Oh well. The trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom. Let's go! Oh yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid he won't be able to make it. Mr. Sholmes, I mean. That's probably for the best. Oh, it might be tempted to rely on yourself. And that could be seen as a weakness if Lord Van Zix were to notice he prey on it mercilessly. At least that's my gut feeling. Mr. Naruhodo! You're right. Yes, you are so right. Oh, well said, local student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Well said. I was running with this sword on my side on the speed of my Kazuma. That is Arbors. I show him the better than his lawyer can do. I set you free with honor. Kazuma, why you had to die like that? Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh see, oh see, oh see, oh yes, oh see. What the hell? In the name of Her Majesty, the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. And I'll call upon the council for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Vampire, the prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for the trial, my lord Nipponese. Know what the defense needs. Or what the defense needs? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? It needs readiness for your inevitable defeat. What do you mean by that? It's not just imagination. It is really there. Lord Van Zisk has such an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. Racist. Racist! Xenophobe! It was some time ago for now that he first became known as the Reaper of the Ball, I believe. Oh, right, he still doesn't know it, because he told it in the last trial of the previous game. These past few years he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now he's back in the courtroom, but for some reason, only when I'm defending. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Still, it isn't the time to be pondering that I have to concentrate on Soseki-san trial. Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We have been chosen at random to represent the will, the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty? Again, you? You really don't have a lot of choice, people to choose from. Absolute has abilities, like he was innocent before. I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when I had refused to sit right. Oh, well, I'd rather like how you're wearing your hat. I think the ruthless look is very fetching, actually. New one? I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make it this quick. They're all in a hurry. Couldn't agree more. It was like home 5 Bob tonight. Or the Missus will go through the roof. Oh mate, they'll all show us the lie here. The ladies flock to righteous verdict. The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? It's quite extraordinary to think that the power of judgment is in the hands of 6 members of the public. The judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt. 6 citizens of London choose at random, or at least that's the idea. They got the 3 same one. 5 same one. Only 1 randomly. The prosecutor will draw attention to the fact that the accused was on the trial here about 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today. Oh, very well, let us commence the trial. Why you do that? It's actually a terrible choice. Because it means that we'll call them back again. Okay, why the hell you have to call them back? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it's not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past decision. However, the recent verdict afforded to these eccentric Nipponese before has had dire consequences. Need the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair, far from it. Instead, he used his freedom to perpetrate most blood-curdling crime, namely that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. Well, to explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution called its first witness to the stand. The victim himself! The detective responsible for investigating the scene and the accused himself. Jackson. Witness your names and occupation, please. Yes, hiya. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard, Homicide Division. Soseki Natsume from the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume. Yes, my lord, sir. I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken that you saw a note that set foot in my courtroom again. I remember you were yesterday. The day before, in fact, my lord, but close enough. Believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from your first explained the case for the court. Right you are, sir. The incident occurred in the Garden houses, where the defender has lodgings. In the ground floor room of the victim, Mr. William Chalmers Pierre. The defender was already admitted to visit the victim on the night in question. Mr. Chalmers collapsed in his room as a result of a poison by strychnine? Strychnine? I don't know. It was found the following morning when the landlord, suspecting something was wrong, broke down the door. This means I presume that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident. Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside. Make entry or exit from the room impossible. Although the victim, Mr. Chalmers, lives to tell the tale, he very nearly didn't. The man was halfway to heaven when we first found him. I was the first officer at the scene, my lord. And I have a photographic print here that I took at the time to show how it looked. Yes, the chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased. It looks different. Why it looks different? That's right, everyone present believed that exactly what he was. Very well, I shall accept this photographic print as evidence for the court. The crime scene photography has been entered into the court record. Oh, that Mr. Natsume. Yes. 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 As a defendant, do you have anything to say at this conjuncture? They are haunted. Haunted by evil spirits. Oh, good gracious. What's haunted? My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happening in my lodgings. The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one else on the street. My neighbor was poisoned, and me. What about me? I've nearly been killed countless times. Killed, Mr. Natsume? How? Even on the fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Chalmers' room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me. The stove went out? You must always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold, my runny nose will freeze. The point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? Thank you, witness. I believe I have a reasonably clear picture of events. Reasonably? If I could raise one more point, my lord. One more. Conclusive point. Conclusive? Go on. Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Chalmers, has regained consciousness after his ordeal, and he named the true culprit. Well, of course. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in the cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused. By the accused? Good grief! Did you make tea to him? That's the crux of this whole case. Soseki-san is innocent. Then why? Why was the victim accused? Well, Mr. Natsume, what have you to say to this accusation? I'd even guess I did take some fresh blue tea with me when I visited Mr. Chalmers' room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought a bottle of water especially to make it. So it is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never! The public pump was frozen, you say? That's not information we've heard before. Doesn't matter. That will do, thank you. But you had also a cup of tea with him. So accordingly we'll need the teacup, not the teapot, right? Now according to our laws, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine witness at least once. Therefore I call upon the witness now for a formal testimony. Presume the prosecution has no objection, blah blah blah. Formality, none to whatsoever, my lord. Good, then you give your account of events on the night in question to the courtroom. Yes. I apologize. the catastrophic night. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. Ah, my tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, couldn't he? Seeing shy takes some time to have effect on the body. People don't kill over immediately after taking it. The victim will have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guests left. The argument still stands. Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward. Excuse me, but the testimony does raise one rather crucial point, I think. Mr. Natsume claims his tea to have been harmless, presumably though. The teacups have been examined for traces of poison, haven't they? Why didn't I think of that? Why? Well, as it happens, no. You haven't been able to. Why? Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect's substance? How cool do you have overlooked something so important? Is that the first thing you should have done? My learned Nipponese friend. The false thing sensed. Wait, what? The inspector says Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea. Not that it was overlooked. Unable? Unable, why? Simple enough, there was none left. Not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. You only need a drop, but the one drop does actually have to exist, funnily enough. Oh. The lack of examination, notwithstanding. It appears nothing other than that depicts the victim's lips on the night in question. I see, thank you. The matter is clear. Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend. What? You can see in their faces, I'm sure, the recognition of the accused's guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. Fudge. A mere moments from now, you will lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity. He's right, I can feel L6 jurors looking daggers at me. But I can't let them beat me down. I won't. Counsel for the defense, proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. What should I do? Should I press all of them? And either literary debate over a nice old drink, after which we have like 11. It was completely harmless, he could have locked the door behind that, basically. Second debate sometime. Hold it! How long does it take for symptoms to appear then? According to the coroner, I was speaking to the yard about 30 minutes after the poison consumed. Then the victim suffered violent convulsion, cramping, and stiffness, eventually died from asphyxiation. So there is a 30-minute interval between the poison was ingested and the onset of symptoms. There seem to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure. Oh dear, death by poison again. It's always so often. 30 minutes is a long time. Yeah. Certainly long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after he left. Can't deny that. The further degrades Soseki's alibi. The medical report of the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord, dispelled it. Oh, really? The accused is the only person who could have done it. Very well, the court will add this report to the court record as evidence. Oh yes, I see the delay onset of symptoms. Great. Great. Okay. Okay. Why I'm doing that, I don't know why.
Objection!
It's the time, sorry. You said it was 11 PM, so if assuming that the symptoms of him collapsing was, he has to ingest it around 1 AM. Mr. Tsuma, you said it was 11 PM when you left to return to your room, correct? Yes. And Inspector Gregson, can we rely on the information in the medical report unconditionally? Of course we can. There's no problem with that report, Sunshine. Actually, I think there's a very big problem, because there's a chronological inconsistency between the defendant's testimony. What? What are you on about? According to this report, The victim must have consumed the poison around 1:30 in the morning, and yet the defendant, Mr. Tsume, left the victim's room at 11. Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. In other words, if there was poison that Mr. Natsume brought into the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 hours that the defendant left? What? They used the same animation. The man's argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Law 166? Can you drink and then smash it? Pray for forgive the discourtesy if my mind has wandered. I was considering what cuisine will best complement the content of my hollow still luncheon. How could it have happened, you ask? I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. What do you mean by that? A phantom? It's hard to imagine the victim drank his tea after the accused had left. For example, at the time stated in the medical report, yes, around 1:30.
Objection!
Mr. Sue brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. And in Japan, there is a well-known saying, drink tea while it's hot.
Objection!
And in my country, there is even more apt saying, there's nothing more refreshing than cold tea. In winter! The point is, if there was such a long gap, there may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned. Other possibilities. There's other possibility, Counsel. Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor. Another visitor? That's a very bold assertion, my learned friend. For someone who has nothing to substantiate it. Or the victim could have taken a poison of his own volition. You suggest he may have been a suicide, Counsel.
Objection!
Well, Mr. Champsier has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted.
Objection!
Okay. But he could be lying! Your Nipponese friend also. Is something wrong, Law 166? I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Carriage? What carriage? It will seem that the key player in this case had just arrived. The victim! Out! Out! Brief candle! Lives by walking shadow. A poor player. The struts and frets is over upon the stage that is heard no more. It looks quite fine. It is a lay told by an idiot. A tale, a late scene, yeah, whatever. To a sound of authority signifying nothing. What sir are you? William Shakespeare, my lord. Alas, 'twas I done those bitter events. I am the victim. I am the one that died. What's he doing here? He looks fine. The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. With his testimony, my learned friend, futile resistance, will be utterly crushed. You are calling him a witness? Very well, Counsel. I'll grant you request with interest. I'm curious to discover what the court will hear from the victim himself. Happy I am, chance for you to regale thee with my tale, woo my lord. But I still have my own tale to tell, my own tale of worse woo. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence, in perfect English. That will do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court know now hear from the victim. What the hell are you? Alright. So that's Mr. Shakespeare. Or was that the man beside him? Yes, I think. I feel sure we caught a glimpse of the man before. State your name and occupation for the court, please, witnesses. Alright, our words so sweet, they do scent the breeze. An inventor of ideas so profound, they compensate the earth. An unriled poet, an unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare. Worth a great bard to be recalled to life anew. Lo? 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 What a significant man. Lo? Good fellows, I am the one who ponders such a miracle. William Shakespeare. The name is Metaman, Adronsby Metaman. More for the Atramon Guards Company, East End branch office. Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday on Brian Road. Oh yes, she is right, it's him. Oh, what's this? What's man doing over there? Yeah, we got it. He ran away. Something wrong, blah 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 blah. Oh, hey. Jojo! I wish I can just vanish like that. Jojo! We spotted him outside Mr. Gary house that morning, and it's a Guns Company employee. What does he have to do with this case, indeed? So, Mr. William Shakespeare, you are the victim of this miserable affair, correct? Oh, heaven, oh, hell, you command me to remember, as we poison that this crossed my innocent lips. It's a point him of the trial. Please, doctor permission, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room of doubt from juror's mind, I'm sure. Behold, we have only to rearrange the letter of my name and see that's me, Seraph, an angel indeed. Thus be a noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart, all heavenly angels be. Because there is a less contrived meaning in your name, not at all. The jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid. I actually take it is Seraph anagram idea seriously. Okay, thank you, witness, for your illuminating introductions. But my lord, what's the man next to Miss Shamaspa? Doing there? The gasman, I mean. The gasman? What, me? Oh, well, now. Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. Recall, I presume, your early impertinence? Well, you suggest the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question. And moreover, that the victim is a compulsive liar. What? No, I didn't quite say that. This young chin stroker is here to controvert your wild claims conclusively. Is that so, Mr. Mitterman? Hang on. No, I'm just here... Wait, what? Hereby call you for your formal testimonies. You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened on the night in question. One may smile and be the villain. Yes, it do pain me. But let the truth be spoken, the truth of that wintry night of my discontent. I think Van Zisk know that the victim is a liar because I don't know why. He's a compulsive liar, and he called the other guy to be as a wall of truth. I don't know. There's no leave out. My neighbor these comments, and even in bearing a gift of tea. But merry bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall straight on my table. Thus was the tea alone past my lips, that late hour, no less. I was how his bloke window into freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. Why? No one else visited his room but a short little round-backed Eastern fella. Okay, I have a question. How and why? Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shamsi's room all night? That's right. Of course, the block window is all but blocked up, isn't it? But there's a little gap in the brick where you can see into the room. So I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered through that. The question is, sir, why? Ah? Well, no. It's because he's on my list. What a piece of work is a man. Wherever wolves do, no stare in Wonderman. What are you talking about? This buzzing busybody and no part in this play. I pray there, pay him no heed, may no more ado about his tedious words. What do you say about me? Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened tonight in question. Nothing more. Indeed, that is so. And as the testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there was no other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime. Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the trial. Now, counsel, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. What's weird about this? So, he's speaking all in weird shot.
Hold it!
But the windows of that house have all been filled in, bricks. Historical artifact on the now defunct Windows tags. Okay, the way to call it, I guess. Yeah, you're right there. I'll break that up horribly. As it happens, there's still a little part of the brickwork at the bottom corner that's been opened. I was looking through that gap. Yes, there was a few brickstones, weren't there? And for some strange reason, a couple of bars or so were lined up with the ledge outside as well. I don't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on a freezing cold night. But them's my order, so that's what I keep doing, as long as there is bread in my body. Okay. Okay. No, sorry. What we hold the theatrical today? A lot of interest, Mr. Middleman, after the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings. Did you see the victim leave the room at all? No, he never left. He was in the room the whole time as far as I'm concerned. And why you didn't call anybody? And we can therefore discount the possibility of suicide. I can't be that so sure. The police carried out a true investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. So we know the victim didn't leave this room and hence he didn't dispose the poison container himself. It's clear that it was not attempted suicide, only the culprit could have removed the receptacle. Yes. Lucidly explain, counsel. Thank you. So when you stop looking at him, I mean, he collapsed around must be collapsed around 1:30, so before 1:30 you already left. Right? Right?
Hold it!
Kinda weird. It's weird. They say a short little round black-faced fella, so you can be sure it was the defendant.
Objection!
How many other short little round back Nipponese with a mustache do you think there are in London? Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap and it was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. I show up around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself. And when the person you saw arrived, did he, Mr. Sheep, drink tea together? No, sorry, I couldn't say. Why not? Because I couldn't see in the room all that well, could I? All I did see was the silhouette of that little round-back fella wearing a pretty dress. Then the pair of them started some kind of wrestling match, I tell you. Didn't know what to make of it. I suppose that was the Roman Juliet championship battle getting underway. Championship battle? What story is this in universe? What is Roman Juliet story? Is a fighting movie action? What the hell is... Allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question? No question! Gasman honor. Gasman... We have a Gasman honor now? So that's the entire testimony. Bit worrisome, I guess. What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Can't see any obvious holes at all, to be honest. No, oh dear. Nobody else visited Championship room there now apart from Natsume. Actually, the members of the jury would conclude the same thing. Right, he's guilty. Yeah. Well, all we can do is press the witness for more information and hope for breaking through. Breakthrough! Yes.
Hold it!
To be clear, by neighbor you are referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume. Oh, indeed, sire. Perchance you will most that I call him the man from upstairs. What time did the mustachioed Nipponese visit you in the room? Our meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and I And Io, or Lo, I don't know what the fuck, did he come to tender a gift of fragrant tea? I think it's Io. Lo, what the hell is Lo? The details which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes. And we were born in such a literacy debate as history had no seen before. By which I presume he means the fervent discussion about Romeo and Juliet. Who's the stronger? Are you Team Romeo or are you Team Juliet? And Shakespeare did play the poor young Romeo, whilst my neighbor played the fair Juliet. Each of our dresses will our character be to bring weight upon our merry experiment. I dare not to imagine the scene. I also dare not to imagine it. Frailty thy name is a woman. Cast to imagine how dismay am I was. Yes, I heard of the Western art of jiu-jitsu, but yet did I dream to be skilled practiced by the comely maiden. Juliet beat Romeo up? There's no helping our case. Well, I believe the court has heard enough about our earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you could reiterate from your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. My liege, I am servant, glad I will do thy biting. Biting? Beating? Biting? But Mary Bitter was...
Hold it!
Mary Bitter. Let me stop you there. Mr. Tsumi left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. An amount to more than 3 hours of missing time. Indeed. Just like that? Like nothing to say? Huh, brother? Nothing to say? Nothing to say? The defendant had really put the poison into the tea. A 3-hour window of time, something you are going to have to explain. Gladly. This is an easy task. What? I did drink of the tea, not while my guest listed Harry, but after he took leave of me. Fate was stone cold, but 1 hour post midnight very lie wearing my lips parted.
Objection!
That doesn't sound normal. Nay, it is quite ordinary, sire. After all, thou will also recall our fiery debate, and with such argument there be no time for fiery tea. Romeo and Juliet again. Who was stronger? Juliet, though. Miss Shamspierre, in summary, allow me to confirm. You do not come here with the intention of naming your attacker. But of course, my liege, was the stupid lover of words did attempt to shuffle me off this mortal coil. We all know what that means. What that means?
Hold it!
So you didn't have any kind of evening meal? Dinner? Supper? No. Ha! No, actually. Ha! Fear on luxury, fine on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time. Sorry? I will tell my belly were full. No more of that the sun doth rise. Almost heroic eating habits, I may say. Night and day do I fill my hours, will learn study of the great bard and play it right. And is what there don't hold in my chamber, be then the customs of mine art. That would appear to be case, so when Roden was found starved to death in my room. What? I think of it. It's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single play of script anywhere. For I have devoured them all. You eat them? Every word within my skull is thou image otherwise. Right, that was a misleading at all. Could you turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that's the only way poison could have passed to the victim's lips is the tea. Huh. So many holes. My lord? Goodness me, yes, Mr. Foreman. Okay, my mouth shut and listen up to now, but this has gone on long enough. Are you all with me? Yes? Are we all with you? Yeah! We understand that you ladies and gentlemen of jury are in agreement with each other. You reach an unanimous decision. To right we have. Are you all with me? Yes! Wait, no. The defense is in the middle of a cross-examination. To be honest, I was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man. Especially after you identified those few hours that follow the accused leaving the victim's room. Yes, the 3 missing hours, as you put it. But in the end, what difference do they make? None, as far as I can see. And since that is now apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer. Like I was saying before, I don't take 5 bob home. With me tonight, the missus will blow her top. What's that? Oh, sorry, didn't quite catch what she said. What's that? What? Very well, let's accord a prize of your decision. Ouch. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings as to the defendant's
Guilty!
credibility.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Well, here we are again. Jesus Christ, they are really obsessed with the summation examination. I understand it's a new thing, but Jesus. Whoa, more summation and examination. It will appear the jury is indeed unanimous. Again. I'm literally half the time spending watching this guy drinking wine. This style, as they say, justice will be done as well at the end, well, as they say. Let's go for the toast, I feel. Cheers! The guilty being punished. Get out, Mr. Naruhodo, please! The trial isn't over yet. What do you mean, Mr. Sutton? What remember! You remember the summation examination? Yes, that's right. You don't have to jury in Japanese courts, of course, but there is a British court of law. If we can reverse the decision of majority of the jurors, we can force the trial to continue. This trial can end now. Whatever it takes, just can't let that happen. The defense moves to invoke his right to summary examination, my lord. Of course. I am not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat. We chose to cling desperate to them. Did you say the same stuff instead of accepting the truth? I feel like it say the same stuff. I certainly know that defense counsel in recent times have exercised the right to a summation examination. Because they all know that once the jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered. Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld. The defense counsel request is granted. The court will proceed with the summation examination as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law. A little bit more detail in it there. Thank you, my lord. Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord, we know all about this young lad tenacity, and we are ready for it. Very well, very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the ground upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break right now, right here. Don't worry, we'll see everything right quickly now. What is going to happen? Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Good lovely bye.
Objection!